President, I rise today to call on the government to extend the consultation period for the Children and Young People Safety and Support Bill. Following immense pressure from the opposition, the crossbench and the community, struggling Child Protection Minister Katrina Hilliard finally, after more than 2 years, released the Children and Young People Safety and Support Bill. The Minister had left the report for the review of the Act to collect dust on her desk for around 18 months, despite the child protection system being in crisis. Coincidentally, when facing the prospect of a censure motion, the Minister has pulled a rabbit out of a hat and released the draft bill for consultation. Despite Katrina Hilliard having worked towards this crucial legislative reform since 2022, she's only allowing stakeholders 1 month. 1 month, Acting President, to review the proposed changes. A move by the Minister that shows that she is out of touch with the reality of the large workload faced by so many in the child protection sector, many of whom are volunteers. Having spoken with stakeholders, it's clear that the timeline that has been set by this government for consultation is not sufficient to consider this crucial legislation. Many in the child protection space are already stretched thin, especially carers. It is not realistic or reasonable to expect them to digest this draft bill, to consult with their stakeholders and to provide a response to the Minister within a month on top of their existing workload. It is not every day that the Parliament and the community have the opportunity to re-evaluate the legislative framework for the in-crisis child protection system. It is vital that we get the foundation for the child protection system charged with protecting our most vulnerable right. We cannot afford to get this wrong. It is the opposition's view that if the government does not give the community sufficient time, that we risk missing key feedback to the Minister and her department. The Minister has taken her time in bringing the draft bill, yet has only given the community a month. She's not given them the due time to consider the government's proposal. The opposition has listened to those who have raised concerns with us about the lack of time for consultation, and so today the opposition calls on the government to extend the consultation for the Children and Young People Safety and Support Bill by 4 weeks, to give the child protection community the opportunity to provide their feedback, who otherwise may not be able to put in a submission due to the tight deadline. Mr Acting President, it's our view that 4 weeks is a modest and a reasonable request, particularly in circumstances where the child protection system is in crisis. The government should demonstrate, at the very least, good faith. This will still enable ample opportunity, following the finalisation of the extended consultation period, for the government to consider this feedback and to introduce the legislation to the Parliament by the end of the year. The ball is squarely in the government's court to get this legislation right. The best way to do this is by listening to the organisations within the child protection system, by listening to carers, and by listening to those with lived experience. But to do that, the government needs to give them a fighting chance to be able to get their submissions in. Thank you.